HBO new Harry Potter series. It seems like this is really true. According to Variety, the Wizarding World will be expanding to the small screen, although the project is still at a very early stage. Warner Brothers and HBO Max had even tried to deny it by stating there wasn't any Harry Potter show in development. But the Veritaserum was too powerful for them to be able to lie. I mean, the rumors were too strong not to be true. With this news, it quickly got us thinking about what possible storylines could be excellent to adapt into a streaming service, taking into mind that the author created a very rich and very detailed universe. So, after much consideration, we gathered some possible things that we think would be great. In order to get this one out of the way, we've decided to talk about it at the beginning of the video. This story was originally released in 2016 and was specifically created to be a two-part play written by Jack Thorne. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child was released with mixed reviews and criticism. Fans all over the world were excited to return to the Wizarding World, at least after a 5-year hiatus. But in the end, it wasn't quite what they were anticipating. On the one hand, the play was praised to be cleverly produced, with an excellent cast reimagining the original characters, while on the other hand, it lacked a strong story worthy of the Harry Potter name, using the Time Turner as an excuse to be able to create an entirely new plot. Either way, we think this idea of the Cursed Child could be rewritten in the new series with a new plot and bringing back the beloved characters and actors. This one is not often thought about, but could turn out to be a very good adaptation. The International Statute for Secrecy, for those that don't know, was a law in the Wizarding World that was established officially in 1692. The law was laid down by the International Confederation of Wizards in order to safeguard the wizarding community from muggles and hide its presence from the world at large. The story would involve the relationship between muggles and wizards before wizards went underground to protect the world. Since the law came into force on the same year as the trial of the Witches of Salem, which was also loosely addressed on the first Fantastic Beasts, there would be a relation between these events, and once more, intertwine the Wizarding World and the real world, as J.K. Rowling is famously known for doing. A war between Muggle weapons and witchcraft is kind of exciting, right? The pureblood families and the idea that these families could rule over the so-called half-blood and Muggle-born families would be an interesting story to depict, fleshing out some heavy themes like supremacy, segregation, and abuse. And what better family to star in this new series than the House of Black? Throughout the book, we get to know a little bit about the story of the Blacks, a dysfunctional family that, on the one hand, defends the idea that pureblood should rule over anyone else, and on the other hand, certain members like Sirius Black, Andromeda, and Nymphadora defend the idea that there should be a more equally Wizarding world. It would be very interesting to dive into the relationship with the Malfoys and, by contrast, the Weasleys, who, believe it or not, are a pureblood family. This storyline could be well adapted to have themes and issues from nowadays, making it an engaging story. Back in 1997, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone brought a new fantastical adventure that the world, apparently, was very much in need, and caught us up by presenting us to a magical world where you could learn fun stuff, like spells and potions, and even exploring mysterious things all around. It was a fresh breath of air that made young kids wanting to live at Hogwarts. Well, J.K. Rowling in 2016 wrote about the American version of a magic school named Ilvermorny School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, and was briefly mentioned in the first Fantastic Beasts film. If a series was to be made about the creation of such a school, we could learn more about Irish immigrant Isolde Sayre and her nomage husband James Stewart, the founders, and the implications of magic in 1627. Maybe a connection with Native Americans? Who knows? What if instead of a series, Warner Media and HBO made a standalone movie? Kind of like how Disney did with Rogue One, a Star Wars story for the Star Wars universe. They could tackle a lot more stories, and we're sure J.K. Rowling would be more than happy to expand the stories from the original books. For example, a movie about the Parvel brothers and how, in reality, they obtained the Deathly Hallows. They wouldn't be attached to the same story for years, and can bring much more content each year just like Netflix and Disney Plus are currently doing. Okay, so before we get to the most anticipated story, there's still one big enough to give us various seasons of wizarding adventures. The first wizarding war on Voldemort's original rise to power is well described during the events of the 7 books, and shows how Voldemort became one of the most powerful wizards, how he came to create the Horcrux, and even show moments like the first opening of the Chamber of Secrets. The time frame of these events and the 4th or 5th installment of Fantastic Beasts are the same, so we could see a young Tom Riddle leaving Hogwarts after graduation in Fantastic Beasts, then have his story told through the series. Wouldn't it be great to see a side story with the Marauders and the battles with the First Order of the Phoenix? Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin. We already made a series of videos in detail about the 4 Hogwarts founders, revealing everything there is to reveal about them. Feel free to check them out on our channel. We've compiled information from the books and also from all the articles J.K. Rowling wrote, providing the most clear picture we could have. However, there is still a lot to unpack about these founders and many mysteries to solve. There's even a reference to a battle between Salazar Slytherin and the other 3, so it does seem to be the perfect recipe to being an epic adventure worthy of the Harry Potter world, and ready to defy the likes of Amazon's The Lord of the Rings series. So, what do you think about our suggestions? We would like to know if you've got any ideas of what you would like to see, so let us know in the comment section down below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and check out our Harry Potter content as well. Thanks again, guys, and until next time, we'll see you later.